Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 GMO suggested combinations run, where we are taking two character classes, suggested by you, and combining them, and seeing if I can beat Danger 5 with it. So, as always, leave your best or worst combinations in the comments below, and I will pick them basically at random. If you've been leaving suggestions and I haven't picked them, don't worry, it's not because I hate the suggestion, it's just because my process for this is grab the first one that I happen to see and feel like playing at that moment. And it's not going to get more systematic than that. Alright, today we are playing the Tiny Fortress build. So we're going to go with the Old, who has the smallest map, and we're going to play the Engineer so that we can fill the smallest map with the most number of constructs. We're going to go with wrenches for this build, and we're just going to try to fill the entire map with constructs as much as we possibly can. They'll all be clustered in the center here. But if we get enough of them, then we'll be able to just cover the whole map in engineering constructs, which should be very fun. Got a bit lucky there and got a tree. The Old has fewer enemy spawns, but GMO increases enemy spawns, and we have starting harvesting, so we get quite a lot of Wave 1 money. That makes up for the fact that wrench is a relatively expensive weapon. We also get to start with 2 wrenches, because we're the engineer. So that should help us get our weapon set online even faster with this combination. We're going to pick up the harvesting here. When you start with harvesting, always good to get more, because then you can reach 21 sooner, have it start growing as quickly as possible. And we'll take the wrench here and roll, pick up a wrench, and then I will lock both bag and propeller hat. So I have an interesting choice here. I could buy the bag, and then if we happen to get a box, then that'll be worth 15 materials. Or I could roll to try to lock a wrench. Given that I have 4 wrenches already, I'm going to actually buy the bag, because not only does this have a chance of getting us 15 materials this wave, it also opens up another slot for potentially another economy item that we could roll. And the cost here is just that we aren't rolling to look for a 5th wrench. I suspect we'll be able to max out our wrenches anyways next wave, so I think this is worth giving up the roll to be able to buy the bag a wave earlier. Of course, it's interesting. The math on getting a box is not super in our favor. I think we have like a 50% chance of getting a tree, and that tree has a 20% chance of getting a box, plus there's a very small chance of one of the enemies dropping one. So the 3 that we spent, or the 19 that we spent on the bag, is definitely not expected to pay itself back on this wave. I think our expected value from having the bag for this wave is 2 materials or something on average. But, of course, getting it early gives us a chance of spiking and getting lucky, and that could set us up to snowball even further on into the game. Here I'm going to roll and pick up some harvesting, and now we're at 22 harvesting, so I'm just going to grab the engineering here. We're going to pick up the wrench, lock the landmines and roll again, and lock another wrench. So, not rolling for the wrench last time, it doesn't look like it cost me getting to 6 wrenches. Even if we'd managed to lock one, we still wouldn't have had the money to buy 2 wrenches this time. I guess if we'd chosen to delay the bag another wave, then we could have gotten to 6 wrenches, but I think we won't have any trouble with wave clear regardless. I would say this run is going very well so far, since we have 5 weapons with a 6th locked. We managed to pick up 21 harvesting on wave 2, so we're very well set up in terms of harvesting growth, so everything's going pretty well. Here I will continue to boost harvesting, because why not? We're going to pick up a wrench, some luck, and landmines, and then roll another bag. I mean, yeah, I'll take another bag. Snail will also be pretty good. Obviously, we're losing move speed here, because we're buying bags, we're buying the snail, and we're the Old, who starts with a huge move speed penalty, but the minus enemy move speed will help us to dodge, so that will hopefully give us a little bit more agency as we're moving around the field. And then I'm going to roll here again, and great, I'm going to lock a scar as well. Awesome economy items in the early game. The only things that we're missing in terms of high tier economy items, or we haven't found any fertilizers or any other harvesting along those lines. I guess no coupons yet, but double bag this early is already great and has immediately paid dividends as we drop a box. Let the landmines do a little bit of wave clear for us as well. There's a coupon, so again, things are going really well in terms of economy. Here, I'm going to take the engineering. I could take regeneration, which we will need, or dodge, or I could roll for move speed or max HP, but just getting more damage at this point seems pretty good. And I'll take more harvesting. It's still very early, so we can benefit quite heavily from just boosting our harvesting early on and getting our economy rolling very quickly. We'll pick up the scar here, the snail, and the book, and then roll. Upgrade my wrench. So one thing is, especially on the actual engineer, you really don't want multiple level 2 wrenches, or once you have the incendiary turret as an actual item, you don't want any level 2 wrenches, because they're all going to be clustered on top of each other. The burning damage doesn't stack, so you only ever want one of these at a time, maximum 2. And so we're going to try to combine this into a level 3 wrench as quickly as we can. I'm going to roll there. We're guaranteed to see a weapon, so it was worth spending 8, in my opinion, to try to lock another wrench, which we missed on, but we got Sharp Bullet, which is an amazing find for an engineering build, because of course we have all of these projectile turrets, so making them pierce is going to be even better. The other thing that the incendiary turret on engineer in particular has a problem with is it can spawn in the center of all your other turrets, and then everything's dead by the time they get lit on fire, so the incendiary turret itself doesn't do anything. I'd love to find Pocket Factory here. That would be a great way to generate even more turrets. We were making amazing money in the early game, but now the old enemy spawn penalty is starting to catch up to us, so we only made 191 this wave. Just the number of enemies that another character would be spawning would be higher, so we would be getting more money, and so even our relatively high harvesting isn't keeping up with where you want to be in terms of income at these waves. Not that 191 is bad income, but we're no longer snowballing way ahead of where you normally would be on most characters. Here I'm going to take the 6 HP. I could take 5 harvesting, but I think max HP is going to be a problem for this character if I don't buy any, and we need to get to 24 early. I'll take some regeneration as well, because we do need some healing. Very happy to buy a turret here, and I will lock a wings as well. 10% speed is awesome. That can help get our speed back towards a more nominal value. And then we're going to take the Gentle Alien over the second wrench. Like I said, the second level 2 wrench won't do very much, so we would rather just have more enemies on the field than upgrade that wrench. We're still going to buy the second level 2 wrench, of course, but we don't need it in terms of accelerating our wave clear, because it won't actually do that particularly well. All the enemies just drifting into our turrets as they spawn. I went to manually trigger that landmine to try to kill some additional enemies with it, but they had all died by the time I actually stepped on it. Here I'll take 2 armor. This character is going to take hits because we're in a very small arena and we're an engineering build, so we just can't avoid taking hits. We're bad at defending ourselves. So I definitely want armor and regeneration, some dodge, just anything that can help keep us alive will be pretty valuable as we go through. That's why I'm even willing to buy mushrooms and lose 2 luck. Luck obviously is a very good stat, but we need to get some regeneration as quickly as we can. I'm going to let the slashers spawn as much as I can, though obviously I don't have much control over that, thanks to our turrets, but if they do spawn, we are going to get a little bit more money out of it. And we have Sharp Bullet and enough turrets around that we should be able to kill anything that... even the high damage or the high health slashers should be able to die to our turrets pretty easily without slowing down our wave clear elsewhere. Just trying to run around and make sure I'm picking up most of the materials that are dropping if possible. It's such a small arena, we really shouldn't be leaving too many materials on the ground. Very happy to take more luck. Of course, with our double early bag, luck is an even better stat than it normally is. We'll take the cog here, and then I could take 9 HP, but I think I'm actually going to take luck, because like I said, luck is just a really good stat for us. I could buy some attack speed. Attack speed is not terrible for this character because we might find improved tools, so we do want to boost our attack speed. But I don't like to buy too much attack speed in anticipation of an improved tools that we don't have yet when there are stats that we can actually really use available. So I'm just going to take the regeneration here. Here we're going to combine these wrenches, buy another level 3 wrench, and then go to a level 2 wrench. We'll take a regeneration and roll. Rip and tear won't do anything. We'll never have any melee damage, so let's roll again. And then here, for example, I would upgrade this just to a level 3 wrench, but I'm going to buy the tree actually first, because we just want economy, and wave clear isn't something we're struggling with at all. We just want to boost our economy, number of enemy spawns, number of tree spawns, just anything that can give us more money as much as we can. My goal here is to snowball our economy hard enough ahead of the curve that we can actually kill the elite, something that engineering builds normally don't get to do. But we have a wave 12 elite, and we're on a small map with all of our turrets clustered in the center, so I think we should be able to get the DPS to clear the elite by the time it actually spawns. Also getting some loot alien spawns, which is pretty nice, just some random lucky loot aliens. Another tree down here. Ooh, a second box, nice. Or a third box, actually. I guess one of those was from a loot alien, but 2 of them were just random drops. Let's kill this tree. Can we get a 4th box? No. Darn. Still 400 income, and with 3 boxes. Obviously, some of the income is from our bags, but we made a awesome amount of money this wave. 400 income for wave 8 is great, and of course we get the items out of the boxes. I've got 9 regeneration, so I think we can support the blood donation. Right now, we don't quite have the regeneration to stay alive through it, but when you combine that with consumable healing, we should be okay. The gold-plated teeth I have banned for these runs because it's just too broken, so I'm going to recycle it. And then here, I'm going to re-roll. I could take harvesting. I'm just going to take some max HP. I did just buy the blood donation, so I need max HP and regeneration, otherwise I could be in danger of dying. Here we will upgrade to a level 3 wrench. Actually, we're on wave 9, so I should try to upgrade to a level 4 wrench if I can, because the explosion will help a ton. I will buy these coffees for attack speed, though. They're very efficient, and if we do find improved tools, it's great. Blood Leech would cost me some harvesting, but get my regeneration to the point where we're actually healing through the blood donation. But I think we can do better than Blood Leech in terms of healing, so I'm going to look for a better healing method. I will take the Dangerous Bunny and re-roll here. Cyberball doesn't do anything. Butterfly doesn't do anything. I'm going to roll one more time because I think we could still buy a relevant item if we find a regeneration item, which is what I was hoping for, but I'll definitely take the turret, lock the bandana for even more piercing shots, and we'll just have to get a little bit lucky on dropping consumable healing. Our blood donation is dealing, I don't know, like 0.15 damage per second. I didn't look at exactly how much healing we have. With 9 regeneration, it's slightly less than 0.9 health per second. So I don't think that our consumable healing will have any trouble keeping up with the incoming blood donation damage, as long as I don't take too many hits. I am regretting not combining to the level 4 turret. That was definitely a mistake, because we would be clearing this wave much faster. Alright, I did take a hit. which means that we're now stuck at lower HP, because we don't have any meaningful healing, thanks to the blood donation. Took another hit there, so I do need to be a little bit more careful now. We also don't have any actual consumable healing increases, so we're still only getting 3 HP off these fruits. But we still made 630 materials and managed to survive with our blood donation. Triangle of Power we're going to recycle. Even though we have blood donation, this will cost us a lot of damage. It doesn't really matter for the engineer, so I guess I could take it just for the 1 armor, but I think I'd rather not reduce my melee damage to 0, because we do actually use the damage from our wrenches still at this point. Later on, that'll become less and less relevant, but right now it does help us to actually have some damage on our wrenches. I'm going to take some move speed there, and then I could take armor here. 3 armor would be great, but I'm actually just going to take 4 engineering, because our goal is to kill the elite, so I want to boost my engineering damage. We'll take this, and roll. Adrenaline is another way to heal, and also will help us survive, so definitely happy to take that. We're going to combine here and buy a wrench, and roll. Mouse is technically a way to heal, though lifesteal off the wrenches isn't going to be huge. We currently have 2 turrets as our only construct items, so we don't have any incendiary turrets in our items, but I'm going to take the mouse, and then we'll take the wrench here. Do 1 more reroll, lock a lure, and that'll get us to the point where we can now support our blood donation just off of our regeneration. And we'll take the cake and the compass as well. So 1 more wave I have to survive without any real healing, but then once we get the lure, plus we'll probably find some more healing items, we should be back in business. I could use like a cute monkey for healing. That would be a very good healing option for us as well, if we find that, because obviously we're picking up a lot of materials. You can see our weapons only do like 15 damage, but that's still enough to help us kill trees, occasionally add some DPS to a particularly tricky target. So that's why I didn't want to reduce my damage to 0 with the Triangle of Power. It would have been a mistake, I think. I think one mistake that people sometimes make with engineering builds is not realizing how much your actual weapon attacks still contribute to your damage. It's not just your constructs that are doing it. I'll take some regeneration there, and then sure, 15 more luck. That's great. We'll increase our max HP, obviously by the lure and the compass, and then I'm going to roll. We have 14 speed, which is pretty nice at this point. Cyberball is not totally crazy. We've got negative % damage, but pretty high luck, so this could help deal a little bit of extra damage. I don't think it's worth taking here, and I think I'm going to pass on the fin as well. I don't think we need Alien Tongue either, so I think I'm just going to roll for more important items than those. I will take the fertilizer, I will take the laser turret and the pencil, and roll again. Obviously, it's not that good for this build anyways, but marksmanship is the other item I've banned for these runs. Roll here, and oh, there we go, the Pocket Factory, wrench, and yet another mouse. Awesome finds here, of course. So now we have enough regeneration that we will heal just fine through the incoming damage from blood donation. The Pocket Factory will help increase our damage even further just by spawning even more trees when we actually are able to buy it. So hopefully that will help with DPSing down the elite. I'm not certain if we've managed to get quite the damage to be able to kill the elite. I think it'll depend a little bit on which elite it is, too. But I think we're pretty well set up, or at least as well set up as an engineering build can be to fight an elite, especially if we get good items in these boxes. Hoping for one more loot alien spawn here, too. That would be awesome. Sadly, we hit the 5-second mark and no loot aliens, which means we only get 3 boxes this wave, but we'll definitely take that. Elemental damage doesn't do anything for this build, so we're recycling it. And the Cyber Ball, when we find it in a box like this, I'm going to take it. Triangle of Power, we're recycling for the same reason we did last time. Here I will take 2 armor. Our armor was quite low and is still relatively low, so I do want to boost that as well as our dodge. I think we've got the healing to fight through an elite, but I guess we will see. Gonna upgrade to another level 3 wrench here, by the Pocket Factory and by HP, as well as the mouse, of course. Now we get an incendiary turret, which is an awesome find, because it means that we can upgrade this to a level 3 wrench as well. And then I will buy the lure. Normally, there's some consideration to not buying lure on elite waves, but we don't, so that you can focus down the correct enemies. We don't really have a problem with focus damage, because all of our damage pierces. We've got AoE damage from the explosions, we have fire damage, AoE fire damage from the incendiary turret, and so on. So just having the lure aliens on the field is not going to make it harder for us to kill the elite, I don't think. Take the bag. Garden, I'm going to take. This is just a good way to stay alive, to make sure that we're healing constantly. And we'll take the compass as well. Alright, and we're going to fight the Wave 12 Elite. This is probably the hardest Elite for most melee characters, but I guess we're not really a melee character, so we're just going to do the classic triangle dodge. So actually, I take it all back. This is the easiest Elite for us to have gotten. Because we can just kite it through, just do a triangle motion, and just every time it charges, you just move in a little triangle, and it charges right past you. We just do that, pull it through our cluster of turrets over and over and over again until it eventually explodes. So, we got, I would say, quite lucky with what Elite spawned there. That was almost certainly the easiest one for this build. I didn't have to do that much dodging or anything along those lines. And then we also make a ton of money off of those bags. I wish I'd been able to buy the bag that we have locked in the shop before we got these 5 crates, but we'll just have to make do with only 2 bags and 5 crates worth of stuff. Alright, Diploma, obviously an amazing find. Plus 10 engineering is going to increase our damage even further. Yes, we'll take an incendiary turret. I'm going to recycle the injection. I'll take a medical turret. Again, great healing for us. It's going to cluster as well. We don't have any elemental damage, and we're never going to build any elemental damage, so the Strange Book, unfortunately, is just not going to be very good for this build, because we have minus 50% damage modifications when you're playing the Elite, meaning that building elemental damage is very difficult and inefficient, so you just don't want Strange Book for this character. Here, I'll take 2 armor, because our armor is quite low, and then I'll boost my luck even further. I'm going to buy this, this, and this. We're going to pass on the acid here, although I do want max HP. This is a very expensive way to buy it, and I also want to increase my dodge, assuming that we can manage that. We've got the diploma for plus XP gain, so I don't really need the bean teacher, I don't think, at this point. What level are we? Yeah, we're level 19, so we're just not going to benefit that much from... Oh, and we have a scar as well. We just won't benefit that much from increased XP gain at this point in the game. Here, we're going to go to another level 4 wrench and another level 1, because we have 2 incendiary turrets. We just don't want too many of those. The fertilizer will have plenty of time to pay itself off, so we'll pick that up. Tree, wrench, medical turret. Tardigrade, unfortunately, we can't use, because we have the blood donation. Not that we would want it necessarily anyways, but we can't use it. But I will take the tree, I'll upgrade our wrench, I'll buy another medical turret, and then roll. And then Ugly Tooth, great find. This works off of the damage from our construct, so enemies will now be constantly slowed, and then we'll increase our max HP as well. So that was an awesome shop for us. We got, like, everything we need. Look how many constructs we have now. Basically, the only thing we need to make this build perfect, I think, at this point, would be an improved tools. And then, obviously, just more dodge and armor and health. A fairy would be nice as well, just would solve all our healing problems. But honestly, the double medical turret solves all our healing problems, and the garden. That just solves all our healing problems already, so that's not actually something I'm not worried about. You see, I like walk back in and immediately heal for 12. Oops. I didn't hit that tree enough to actually break it. That is the downside of the engineer when you're doing Pocket Factory stuff, is all of the turrets spawn together, so they won't necessarily be in range to shoot the trees. It would be fun if there was a plus range item for your turrets. I'm going to take the Poisonous Tonic just for the potential attack speed increase. Losing 2 regeneration obviously is a little painful, but I think we can make that up. And indeed, we were able to make that up by finding a fairy here. So now our regeneration is awesome. I'm going to take the bait here. Obviously, the percentage damage is not important and we won't get much of it, but just having more enemies on the field is going to be good for us. I'm going to take 9 max HP over 15 luck here. The only way I feel like we can lose this run at this point is if I just tank like 5 hits in a row from an elite and die. So I'm just boosting my HP, dodge, and armor to prevent that from happening, because we're really in great shape otherwise. Here we're going to buy another wrench. Unfortunately, that's a bunch of level 2 turrets that we have right now, but we can't really do anything about that. Take the lure here. If we already had the improved tools, I would buy the small magazine, but we don't yet. Another diploma, sure, we'll definitely take that. Coffee and beanie, and then roll. And I'm going to take Ricochet. The bounce will affect the projectiles that our turrets fire. Wrench is going to be great as well. And Crown will still have time to pay for itself, because we already have quite a lot of harvesting, so the harvesting growth from the Crown should be pretty good for us as well. As you can see, bait there was just an economy purchase, just having more enemies on the field to drop more money and XP. And each of them has a potential chance of dropping a crate. We didn't get lucky this time, but I think it's often worth it to buy bait, even if you don't need the damage, just because if you have a build that's strong enough to clear the Lampreys for free, just because having more enemies on the field is often good for many builds. You can see our incendiary turrets, we've just got too many of them, so they're not really doing anything. They're all stacking their damage on the same enemies. With triple bag and 4 crates here, our economy is really going off. 1,000 materials on wave 14. Yes, it's a horde wave, but still, that's awesome. I will take the wheat here just for the 10 harvesting, and then head injury we're recycling. Takeout we're definitely taking. Energy bracelet I will recycle, we don't need any of those stats. And then, again, just for safety, I'm going to take the 3 armor. The 20 luck would obviously be awesome, but like I said, the only way we lose this run at this point is if I just get popped, so I'm just going to buy defensive stats to prevent that from happening. I will take 10 harvesting here, though. We're going to buy the Ricochet, the Crown, the Wrench here. I'm just going to combine and do level 3 wrenches. Then I will roll. Sure, another incendiary turret. There's some incentive, by the way, to not buy like the 3rd incendiary turret, because it's not actually going to help increase our damage output, because it's just going to stack damage with the other 2 that we already have, and any more that we get stuck with in our actual weapon selection. But obviously, the goal here is to fill the entire map with construct, so we're going to buy it regardless. I'm going to take the Octopus as well. That's a great defensive option for us. That will boost our max HP and regeneration to excellent levels, so that will be more than enough to keep us alive against the elite. Baby with a beard we don't need because we don't have ranged damage, but I will go to another level 3 turret and another level 2, or another level 4 turret and another level 2. And then let's go to wave 15. Hoping we can get to 6 level 4 turrets, because that would be fun as well. Love the ricocheting shots here. Just getting shots sort of bouncing all over the map. I'm trying to keep an eye on the incendiary turrets, because sometimes flames interact very weirdly with Ricochet. It looks like the incendiary turrets aren't doing anything too weird, which is unfortunate. Flamethrower does really weird stuff when you have Ricochet. Yeah, the medical turret ricochet is also pretty funny. Obviously, it doesn't do anything for us, but it's funny. Eye surgery, we're still going to take. It makes our incendiary turrets better. This does work with incendiary turret burning. And then here we're going to reroll. I could just take the engineering, but I think I'm going to roll for dodge. All right, I'll take 12 harvesting, though. Too much harvesting for me to pass up on. We'll take the octopus here, and I'm going to buy the weird ghost. We have enough regeneration that we will survive the damage tick from our blood donation. And that's just a pretty efficient way to buy 3 HP. Even more trees is great. That's going to give us even more Pocket Factory turrets. And then we will reroll here. Plant, awesome. Peaceful Bee is great for dodge and harvesting. And then, of course, duct tape is also stats that we need. So all of those are great. We're going to upgrade our wrench. And pumpkin I'm going to buy. We have piercing damage, so we want to increase our piercing damage even further. Go to wave 16. As you see, we heal enough that we survive the first tick of damage, and then of course we have the garden and all of these medical turrets, so we heal back to full almost immediately. This is something I've said many times in these videos, but I think one of the most common mistakes in Brotato is under buying Weird Ghost. It's not like a huge mistake, it's not going to cost you the game that frequently, but Weird Ghost is an efficient way to buy HP and usually has no penalty associated with it. It just looks scary. But you can really gain a small edge by buying Weird Ghost more aggressively. And those little percentages do add up when it comes to your overall win percentage. Alien Worm, we currently have no consumable healing, but I'm just going to pick it up anyways. We're mostly using our medical turret to heal. I'm going to recycle, or to roll here, and then take 2 damage, and then do I want regeneration? Harvesting. At wave 16, I don't think I'm going to buy any more harvesting. I'll just take the regeneration. That can continue to make sure that we have the health to survive against the elites. We'll take Little Muscly Dude for 5 max HP. It's not a very efficient way to buy it, but it's good enough. And then here, let's combine and buy a wrench. Roll, buy a cog. Roll. Gonna pass on all these. We'll roll one more time. And a laser turret. Awesome find as well. Just love how many turrets we end up with in such a small location. And because even with the engineer, turrets do have a random offset from other turrets, so you can see our turret field is covering more and more of the map the more we get. So we will eventually cover the entire map in turrets if we continue to buy them. I don't believe there's a maximum to the number of constructs that you can have in Brotato, but it would make sense if there was, just to stop the game from lagging too much. I'm curious if anyone has gone for like a maximum number of constructs, endless run or something. What's the most you can have on the screen before the game starts crashing? It's funny that even with this very small arena, we're still leaving a bunch of material on the ground. I'll take the poisonous tonic here, recycle the mastery, recycle the injection. We'll take some armor. I haven't found any dodge, which is a little bit surprising. Against the elite, I'm not going to buy a weird ghost. I probably could and it would be fine. But again, the only way we lose this run is if I just get cocky, so we're going to avoid doing that. I will take the lure here and roll past the cyber ball. Recycling machine, we have high luck, so it might pay for itself. I'm going to pick it up. This is mostly for science. I think it may or may not be right, but we'll see if wave 18 and wave 19, the recycling machine, pays off. Take the baby gecko here and roll. Definitely don't want the torture. Our healing is way better than that. And then here we can combine and buy another wrench. So we're getting close to maxed out wrenches. And I'm not going to reroll again for 57. That's getting too expensive. So this elite, I'm glad we didn't get it earlier. This is a much harder elite for us because it's going to not follow us through the center of our turret field most of the time. So it's going to be much harder to focus damage on it. Once it reaches this stage, it follows you slowly, though, so I'm pulling it over there. Incendiary turret is the highest DPS turret of any of the three. It's just that any of the four, it's just that it doesn't stack with other incendiary turrets. So we do want to make sure when we're fighting an elite or a boss that they're always on fire from the incendiary turret. So we spent 111 on the recycling machine, so in order for it to count as being good, I'm going to say it needs to make us like 300. Because that 111 could have been other stuff that would have increased our economy more or increased our clear speed. But I think we're well on our way to making that already. I'll take the Cyberball here. We'll take the Gecko. Yeah, we'll take the Peaceful Bee. Take the Diploma. Another bee, sure. Alien Tongue I'm going to recycle, even though I've said we need more pickup range. We just got 2 Geckos, so we don't really need the Alien Tongue itself. Wandering Bot, I don't think we need either, and Torture we're recycling as well, so that almost certainly means that our recycling machine has paid for itself since we just recycled that Torture. Take the Dodge here, because Dodge is going to be the most efficient way to increase our survivability at this stage. This, and this. Unfortunately, the level 1 Wrench doesn't do anything for us, but the level 3 Wrench does. Roll again. And a level 4 Wrench definitely does, so I will just sell out of the level 2, buy the level 4. We'll buy the Clover and the Lure, and then I will roll again. Now I'll buy another Weird Ghost, not because we really need the HP, but more to prove the point. And then we're going to buy the Regeneration here and roll again. Alright, well, now we're getting wrenches that we don't need. But 144 for 5% dodge is definitely worth it for this build. Dodge is our most efficient way to increase our stats. Each point of dodge, our defensive stats, each point of dodge makes each subsequent point of dodge more valuable. The closer the more dodge you have, the more each point is worth. So as we're getting closer and closer to cap, these points of dodge become worth spending even more money on. Immediately healing back up thanks to the medical turrets. Feels good. And I would love some explosion size as well. That would be a really awesome find. Still, obviously, the number 1 item for us would have been improved tools. But we're doing just fine without it. This, I think, is also improved. Speaking of improved tools, I think that's a relatively common mistake that people make when playing engineering builds as well, is overbuying attack speed in case they get improved tools, overbuying elemental damage in case they get strange book, that kind of thing. It's fine to buy those things once you have the item that enables them, but usually you don't want to go too far out of your way to buy the stat until you know you're actually getting benefit out of it. So you saw there that I skipped on attack speed a lot and only bought the most efficient attack speed, stuff like coffee, rather than just going out of our way to buy any attack speed we could see. Stone Skin is worth it. That's going to increase our max HP. There's the explosion size we were looking for, and I'll just take 4 regeneration here and 6 dodge, almost at dodge cap. Let me quickly check our recycling machine. So yeah, it basically made 300 in 2 waves, so it was worth buying. Alien Magic we'll take here as well, and then I will roll. I guess now I could buy the Strange Book, but it won't do anything for this wave. We'll take the Cog. Spicy Sauce is just some max HP. Power Generator would actually bring our damage back up towards 0, but we don't really need to do that. Keep rolling. I'm just looking for things that are more interesting for us right now. I will take explosion damage. Even though we only get 7% explosion damage with the Engineer, we have 6 level 4 turrets, so we're doing a lot of explosion damage. And then, just for fun, and because I said the only way we can possibly lose this is if I get cocky, I'm going to buy the Weird Ghost going into the boss wave, and we'll just see if the game can make that happen for you. We'll buy this, and then there's nothing else here. I will take the Lumberjack shirt just because it's an item that could theoretically be relevant as we go into the last wave. Alright, so I do need to be careful and go towards my medical turrets, because we bought the weird ghost, so I need to make sure that those heal me up before I actually fight the bosses. Not that we actually have to fight the bosses, all we have to do is just dodge, and our turrets will do all the work for us. And there we go, bosses defeated, and Wave 20 is won with the Tiny Fortress build. That was a really fun one to play. Again, that wasn't like the hardest run in the world, although I will say it looked easier than maybe it was, just because we got so lucky on these early items. I mean, look at this early item set. It's a who's who of all the best items in the game. And we got 5 lures as well as 3 bags, so we made a ridiculous amount of money off of those. The crown that I bought relatively late still gave us 100 harvesting, which was excellent, of course, because each of those ticked. A lot of that harvesting ticked multiple times. A lot of it helped grow our harvesting even more, so the crown definitely paid for itself. The recycling machine was barely worth it, but was worth it. And other than that, I guess the cyber balls, these didn't impress. I mean, we didn't expect them to be huge. We did get triple diploma, so we had 116 engineering as well at the end of that run, but that was just a good, fun run. Nice. Oh, interesting. 50%. So how did we get 6 HP recovered from the adrenaline? I guess we just didn't have it. It's just counting, if we only had like 3 damage and it healed us for 5, it's only counting that as 3 healing, because obviously 6 is not a multiple of 5. But yeah, that was a great run. All right, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed that one. And of course, as always, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and like the video. Helps me out with the algorithm, helps keep Brotato alive, the Brotato scene alive, as we wait for the expansion. I still haven't heard anything about that other than it's coming out this summer. I'm very tentatively in communication with the devs, so if they want to do like a launch stream or preview content, then I will definitely be the first. You will be amongst the first to know, so hopefully we can make that happen for you. All right, folks, hope you enjoyed, and of course, I will catch you next time.